Hello friends, welcome back. This is Nima and I'm here to make a card to celebrate the Day of the Dead. I'm going to be using from Trinity Stamps this layer cake die. I'm going to use the cake and the frame. I'm not using the other things. And I'm going to use the slimline Skelly, but I'm only using his head. Right? So here is my idea. And I already cut his head. And I cut the frame in black. And then his head will be in white. I'm going to give it a little bit of a shade color just to make it look like more like a bone. Using Distress Oxide. I'll be using the, hold on, let me show you. The tea dye. That's the one that I'm going to use around just to give it a little bit of a shade. So my card, using his head, will be something like this. And that's going to be on the top of the card. And to decorate the cake, I'm using a bunch of little flowers in here in different colors. I have them also in red because I'm going to make a very, very colorful card. Will be a little bit of white, a lot of colors, a lot of flowers, the cake, the skull, and a big colorful background. So I'm not gonna show the whole process. I'm just gonna go by pieces, showing the most important parts, and we're gonna start decorating this skull in here, right? let's create the background. I'm using old embossing folder, and I'm using these very bright colors from Gina K, and I'm just gonna randomly paint my embossing folder. Using these all bright colors. My paper is 5 by 7. I'll be back. Oh, I love the ways that these colors turn out. So the next part of this is to color the part that it is debossed. I'm going to put a little bit of tape just to keep my paper in place. Try not to get too much of the area, because I'm going to use mostly everything. I can tape a little bit on those sides because I have a little bit of room. Right. So I'm using VersaFine black, and here it is. You just have to be brave. And it looks really, really cool. It definitely brings alive all these other the colors. They look completely different, but it's still very bright, very pretty. Okay. Love it. All right. I'm gonna let this dry a little bit, and then we're gonna do the next step. The next step will be to work with the cake. I cut the cake in white, and then I use an embossing folder to create the texture, and this medium orchid color, just to give it a little bit of color so the design is showing a little better. I also cut the cake to insert for the icing in a different color, black. Yes, black. And I have those 3 in there, and I'm gonna paint those with this shimmer, and just a very, very simple layer on top, very light layer, just to give it some color. Just a light layer. One more, and this needs to dry. I also cut the base of the cake that will be in silver. The background is attached to a 5x7. I just trimmed the edges a little bit and attach it to a 5x7. This is gonna be a 5x7 card. And the cake will go in here, but if I put it just like that, it's kind of too much, competing a lot. Plus it's gonna have the skull on the top, so I'm thinking I'm gonna cut an arch in here from this piece in here, and that will cover all the way to the skull. And then I'm gonna decorate the cake using these flowers. I'm just gonna add the flowers randomly, adding different flowers to different colors over the different layers. Right, so I'm gonna do this and I'll come back and I'll show you the card the way it is. Okay, so here is the card. I cut the letters Day of the Dead. That's the celebration. Here is the vellum in an arch. I started the arch at the base of the cake, and I used the different flowers to decorate the cake. And I also added some of this embellishments from Trinity Stamps. The cake is from Trinity Stamps, the skull is from Trinity Stamps, the embellishment from Trinity Stamps. It's just my celebration to the Day of the Dead, which is November 2nd. So I hope you like my my card, and I hope you get the chance to celebrate, or at least learn a little bit more about this Latin American tradition, the Day of the Dead. Bye!